Day 26. I weighed myself this morning and I'm down to 174.2, which I think is probably incorrect. I don't trust my scale, but I was joking. I was joking that I'm down 10 pounds in 8 or 9 days, and I know I'm joking because I know that's like impossible and not true. But my wife was making fun of me and saying, just stop talking. Like, you don't know what you're talking about. But I know a lot of it's just fake and everything, but I do feel good about my streak, just keeping it going, and 1,500 calories. And like I said, my goal is to get down to about one. I guess I should say, like, I guess I should have like a specific goal. I guess specifically, I would say maybe 165. I think 165 is a good base weight to start building muscle on top of. So let's just start there. I guess it's crazy to think that I'm close to it. I know I have like a ways to go, but it is kind of weird. I am curious, like, what my metabolism is compared to other people. If it's I guess it doesn't matter, right? But yeah, no, I'm still riding the high of yesterday of feeling like I got my gold star and I'm making more and more progress with our property project. I don't know. I get obsessed about naming the company. I don't know why. I just can't like help myself. It's just naming it's fun. Like, building logos is fun. Choosing our color scheme is fun. Building the website's fun. And I'm about a month and a half, maybe 2 months into this project, and I haven't worked on I haven't decided any of those things. I like work on those when I'm like bored, but the fact that I can't make any decisions without Sean is like kind of a cool idea, right? Like, it kind of like keeps me motivated and empowered, because it allows me to like not get too worried or specific about those things. And yeah, so I think I have a good idea for the company name now. I don't know. He'll probably hate it. I've had 30 names already, but the name I'm like going with today is Townie, and I think that's kind of cute, and it's tiny and kind of like specific to what we do, which is like we know about the towns, all the different towns in the country. So we'll see. I don't know. I'm sure, like everything, like I said, the other 30 names have been wrong, have been not the right ones. So it's probably not the right one either. But I started reading this new parenting book. We've just had so much trouble with bedtime for the last, oh my God, I feel like it's been a week, but it's probably been like 2 weeks. I guess if I'm using my like habits logic, I guess it's been 2 weeks. It feels like it's been forever. It feels like it's been like a month or two, but it's called 1, 2, 3 Magic. I'm about 40 pages in, reading it today while we're just all sitting on the couch doing nothing. And I think it's super helpful and super smart, and please, read it for yourself if you think it'll be helpful for what you're trying to do. But I think the thing I am reflecting on today as a result of that is like, it just takes me so long to ask for help. I wish I asked for help earlier, and I realized that trying harder isn't always the best solution, because I feel like that's always been my go-to way to solve a problem or answer a question, is to like try harder or try more. And I think it's hard. It's like everything. It's a balance. Like, it's it is what it is. But it's just hard to know exactly what the right thing to do is at every situation. So, one of those things. But we'll figure it out. I'm secretly thinking about my property stuff that I got to work on, but yeah, so far it's been a great day. We've done nothing so far. We're probably gonna go to the pool or the park pretty soon once Luther gets up from his nap. And I think, like I said, reading the book, it's pretty evident that um I maybe in some ways, my daughter's 2 and we're having trouble with bedtime right now, that like I'm overestimating what she's capable of understanding, like I like she can understand when I say short words and phrases. And when you get upset with the person, you kind of want to explain. And I think that's a big reminder for me so far in the book, is like, we'll get there, but explaining isn't super helpful until she's like 12, and that's a long, long time from now. I can't imagine being 40 years old. Oh my God. And something from yesterday's episode that I've been keeping with me is like, I think with kids, it's like it feels very overwhelming, because like you feel old that you have kids and like you're experiencing these things for the second time, some of these things. But also, I mean, I realistically have 50 years to go, before I go. And that's a long time, like I used to think my I like to say my best year of my life was when I was 16, not because it was the most fun, but because it had the most firsts in it. It had the most amount of things that I was able to do for the first time, and feel the power of being an adult while also not having it every day. Like I felt like it was a good mixture, and you're experiencing like some of your future friends forever right then. You're experiencing some of your future like interests and hobbies and music and movies. Like I feel like there's so many things shaping your personality at that age, that it just like I feel like we're all reminded of what we were like when we were 16 very often. And I still hold a lot of the same friends, a lot of the same, values, a lot of the same interests, music, movies. Like I still find them to be very worthy of my time and attention. And when I hit 32, or when I hit 30, I guess, or even when I hit 26, like it was like such a weird feeling that I was 10 years or 16 years removed from that age. Like time passes. But when I think about, how much time has passed, time moves faster the older you get, right? Because you have less firsts, so it moves a lot quicker. But I think it's easy to feel old in your 30s, and think of that person as really young in your 50s, and I'm trying to meld the two together somehow, and feel like I have a lot more time, and I have a lot more time to start things that I don't know what to do with or how to do them, like I'm doing with this, in my 30s, so that I don't feel that way later, I guess. But also, it's hard because your kids are clearly the next generation, the next people, and you're clearly just trying to help them exist, and know that your job is to like go away slowly, in multiple ways. And it's it's just interesting to be in the middle, kind of, and see it as an opportunity to learn and grow in a more, I'd say, professional and understanding way, because it's not like very emotional, and you can be more calculated. Your brain stops growing after you turn 27, so it's like you're finally like understanding long-term gratification. You're finally understanding like how to make good decisions, I would say. But you're still young enough to like try things that don't need to be accomplished for 10 years, and that's kind of what I'm trying to do with this property company, is like use my 30s correctly, which is to not wake up at 40 and not feel like I have a long-term career plan, nothing to say wrong about my job. It's just, you always want to try new things and try to be more if you can, So, but I'm just gonna enjoy today. Today's a weird day. It's 4th of July, so we don't have to work, and kids are home, and it feels like a Saturday. So we're just gonna have some fun, not take it too seriously. Not. I'm gonna try to do some work, I guess, when they go to bed. But it's been hard to get some work done while everyone's home and wanting attention, and and I'm still keeping my true north of prioritizing my family, over any goals I have. So, I think just look at all this green, like if I'm gonna be excited or happy about this, look at all this green. I haven't broke my things that I find valuable. I thought this was valuable, but after 13 days, I figured out it wasn't valuable, and I think that's significant, to both try, I guess you would say fail, and not be super judgmental, but also be more wise that maybe that isn't what I want to do. I mean, I have one client, I guess, who isn't responding to me at this point. But I think I'm just seeing so much work and power and energy that needs to be put into the property company that I don't know. I kind of am letting go of that want, and I'm kind of saying to myself that if I can keep with this daily reflection podcast, if I can keep my fitness goals going, and if I can just put every other waking moment I have into the property company, like maybe it'll be something really great, that's where I am right now. I don't know if that'll change, but right now it feels like Copilot University was fun to build, but not fun to execute on. That could change, that's why I'm going to leave it as hiatus for another couple days here, while I figure that part out, but it's only been on hiatus for maybe a week. I mean, it's not like it's been a million days. So, just enjoying it. I had a really good talk with my therapist yesterday about like, sometimes I'm a planner, and sometimes you make the best plans on earth, and you put all your effort and energy into these plans, and then a hurricane hits, a tornado hits, something hits, and it's just like, I spent so much time building this house, accumulating this stuff, and that's the metaphor. It's like I spent so much time accumulating these options in this plan. I spent so much time thinking about this plan, like what my life will be like at each stage of this plan, and sometimes a hurricane just hits your life, and you can't do much about it, and that's why it was a tough week for me. Like a hurricane hit our house. Like my sister's life changed, or might have changed. We'll see, I guess. My wife's life definitely changed. My life changed about what the next year of our life is going to be like. And it's frustrating as a planner, because my goal is to avoid these things, and they're out of my control. I think there's a Naval quote. It's like you're more happy the more you can realize you shouldn't be upset by the things you can't control. Like it's easy to be happy when you can accept that. And honestly, last night as I was kind of reflecting on the whole situation again, I just and like I said, talking about it here, talking about it with a bunch of different people, just letting it be for a couple days. Like I think it's everything is a balance, right? The amazing and terrible part of life is that at any moment a hurricane could hit, or a tornado could hit, or your heart could stop beating. Like I never thank this thing enough it just keeps me alive every couple seconds, you know? Like I can make plans, I can say I'm halfway through my life, I can say I'm whatever, a third of the way through my life. I can say all these things, but I can't control that. I don't control my heartbeat. You know, I don't control a lot of things. I control what I put in my body. I control what I do with the body, but the body decides if it wants to keep living, you know? It's its own thing in that way. You know, I like to pretend I have control over it, but I really don't. And I think life is it's a good metaphor for life. It's like I can scheme, I can plan, I can have fitness goals, I can do push-ups, but like if my reptile brain decides my heart should stop beating at some point in the next amount of days or weeks or whatever, like or hours, minutes, I have no idea. You know, our brains can't handle that. You know, information. We can't handle that decision. So we just kind of try to have a day, try to have a week, try to have a year. You know, just try to like make a decision to make ourselves happy, and you know, decide how to best help ourselves and make us get accomplished, do whatever we want to do. But, you know, I think that's something that I firmly believe that, like I was saying yesterday, that like that life is like a rubber band, and like in every direction, in money, power, relationships, marriages, kids, everything. It's like the more it doesn't just your life isn't just boring. It gets pulled and released and pulled and released and pulled and released. Like something is pulling it and releasing it. There must be some sort of tension at all times. It doesn't. No tension doesn't last very long. We create tension. Our brains create tension. I don't know. The universe creates tension, but there's always a tension, and it's universal. You know, the second me and a friend or my wife or my kids have a great moment, we're usually destined for a tension moment in the next couple days. Like the quote I keep coming back to is the Denzel Washington quote, where it's like, this is what he told Will Smith after Will Smith slapped Chris Rock. It's like you're at your highest moments, that's when the devil comes for you. I'm not like a big devil and God person, but but I think it's true. I think it's true that like the more I brag about something, the more likely it's gonna end. The more I worry about something, the more likely it's gonna not require that amount of worrying. You know, the better my relationship is today, the more we're gonna both place expectations on it for tomorrow. You know, and that's not wrong. It's just human. You know, it's just normal. The more we feel comfortable, the more we demand, the more we expect, and then the less comfortable we feel, the less we expect, the less we demand. And so really when you kind of try to like plot that all out linearly, it's like a very like, you know, and we're all just riding these waves all day and just feeling very emotional, like, oh, so much tension, oh, so great, oh, so much tension, so much release. And you know, I don't know how to change that. It just feels like that's how life and the universe works. I'm not there yet. I'm noticing it still. I don't have a grand like way of summing it down and making it simple. It's hard. It doesn't make perfect sense for me. Other than I notice that that's happening. I don't think there's a way to avoid it though. You know, it's more of like the rhythm of the universe more than it's something I need to reframe or fix or try to understand better and try to do more about. So I think we've been really good for quite a while, and this is the universe just kind of like reminding us how good it was, right? That's what it is. Like there's a really, really good on The Office, the quote at the end of the series that's like Andy Bernard's, and I think about this all the time. It's like, I wish we could know we were in the good old days while we were in the good old days, you know? And I think about that all the time, that I'm probably in the good old days right now. If you ever watch this, or whoever's ever watching this, including me, if I ever rewatch this, this is probably the good old days. And I I don't know that yet. I don't feel that way. Like I feel like college was the good old days, or elementary school was the good old day. Like there's so many good old days everywhere. But they're only, first of all, they're only good because you don't remember the like bad parts, right? Like, and you don't remember what you felt like throughout the whole thing. Like I was miserable throughout college because I was always like worried about the next test, or like cramming or trying hard, or like, I was just going from like one like worry to the next. Like I didn't know where I was going with life. I felt very purposeless. All of it, but it's still the good old days. You know what I mean? Because it's just different. I had less responsibilities. Okay, great, good old days. I also had less purpose. Well, I don't care about that because I have it now, and if I have it now, then I'll keep it if I went back in time. Like you just make up reasons why something's better when it's not. It's just different. It's better because it's different. Well, anyways, so I'll wrap this up. So I really like that Office quote though. I feel like I feel that way all the time. Like I know when my wife is the department chair of something, and maybe this property company is going nuts, and we're these high power people not that I need that, to feel happy, but more like just like in a hoping we do good, way, I guess, or help people way. When I pretend that that's true and happening in the future for sure, these do feel like the good old days. It's like an optimism thing. It's like once you allow yourself to pretend that the future that you want is going to happen, you can enjoy these days more. You can allow these to be what they are, which is good days. Like I said this yesterday. Like I think if I plotted out all of my days, out of 25 days, I had 10 positive, 10 neutral, and 5 bad, which is a pretty great ratio. I'll say that. I hope that's like inspiring that you can get to that ratio if you're not there yet, because it's hard, but like you can get there. Like, and I'm always going to work on that ratio and try to get it to be higher and higher and higher, more good. But at some level, you need a rubber band to slap you in the face periodically to remind you what a good day is, because if you have only good days, you will raise the scale of what a good day is, and you'll keep pushing and create tension, and it won't work. But it's really hard to know as it's happening, right? And that's where it just reminds me back to I just wish there was a way to hold on to the idea that my heart could stop beating at any moment, because I can't live my life like that, and but I also can't not live my life like that. I have to keep that in mind at some point, that everything I have is super fragile and moving and changing and could be gone in a second. All of my plans could be gone in a second. I have to keep making the plans. I have to keep making the habits. I have to keep doing these things every day. But at the end of the day, what I need to do is create a good average day and just live it every day. That's hard. It's hard, but I think it's a good reminder that that's kind of the goal. That's where we're at the end of this, is like a hurricane could hit and destroy everything you have, all your plans, everything, all the money in the bank could just evaporate one day. Like all these things, not to scare you. It's just like the universe isn't that certain, and if it was, you wouldn't like it. It wouldn't make sense to you. And not that it makes sense to us now, but our brains are made for it. Our brains are ready for uncertainty, because we're looking for it all the time. And we're sad and we're frustrated when we find it, right? It's just, but that's what we crave. We crave new and different and uncertain to grow. We crave growing. We crave growth, and we can't let go of that idea. And we're because we're wanderers, we're nomads. Like that's who got us here. Like I heard this theory that like the United States is historically a more aggressive and risk-taking country, and the argument is that the primary settlers who came here from Europe were risk takers. The people that got on a boat and didn't know where they were going and ended up starting a colony, or, like ended up starting a country, were risky people, and they bred more risky people, and that was like a self-fulfilling thing, that like it's a more risky place and a more capitalistic place because people were that like like that, they were that like that was part of who they were deep down. And and maybe it's true, I don't know, but it makes sense, the logic that like you're gonna, if you isolate a certain type of people and breed them, that they're gonna be that way. And that could be why we're so competitive here, and so I don't know, just capitalistic and unsympathetic sometimes. But anyways, yeah, just enjoy the 4th of July. Enjoy today. Your heart could stop beating any time, so you might as well enjoy today. I hope that's not sad. It's supposed to be just like a good reflection of like, it is what it is. I've tried so hard in therapy to like find a way to solve every problem, and it is what it is. Solves far more of them, because there are things that, just like the rubber band concept, are like totally unknowable and like engineerable to like fix it. It's impossible to avoid that situation. So anyways, I said I'd wrap this up, so I'll wrap it up there. Have a good day. I hope this is a good day for you, and just ride the waves. I feel good today. Like I said, I'm reflecting about how chaotic the last 2 weeks have been, and just what to take from it. How do I use that going forward? And I think what I use is just, sometimes that happens and it's unavoidable, and that's all you can do, is to just wake up the next day. So all right, I'll see you later.